stay alive. One more word and you won't survive.
What's up, everybody? This is Moho, and today we're going to be sitting down with SaMpLeDs. This is going to be my interview series that I do basically just to get you guys in touch with the not-so-known players within the community. Kind of like the spotlight on Xbox dashboard, but think of it as for the competitive gaming scene. With that being said, SaMpLeDs, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah. All right, my name is Alex. I'm 14 years old. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and my gamer tag is SaMpLeDs.
Well, how you doing, Alex? That's a pretty nice introduction you got there. With that being said, you want to go ahead and tell us how you really got into the competitive scene or just Call of Duty in general?
I mean, so, like, Call of Duty, I was a Halo player for, like, 3 years, and, Call of Duty, my friend was playing Call of Duty, and he was just, like, playing it all the time, and I would knock on his door, and he would just be playing it, so I picked Call of Duty 4 up, and, I started GBing in Modern Warfare 2, and Modern Warfare 2, I played it, like, I got to, like, 8 prestige. I mean, I was a pub star, and my friend wanted to do Modern Warfare 2, a team, and we did hardcore. We were like 3-11. We were horrible back in the day, and I mean, that's how I got started. Yeah,
it's nice that you say you started in Call of Duty, man. It is good to hear that, especially in the competitive scene. And you basically started off in the right area, starting off and just playing pubs. I think everybody started off playing pubs, and to be honest with you, every time a game comes out, everybody starts off playing public matches because MLG rules aren't set. So if you guys out there listening in and you guys, if you guys started off just the way he did, don't worry about that. It's really no big deal. We all started the way that he did. And just, to let you know that you did start off on the right foot. You did go straight to GB, and regardless of you doing good or bad, you still competed. And that's, that's the goal, one of the goals to becoming a successful competitive gamer. So all right, so what are your plans, and where do you see yourself in the MLG scene in the near future?
Well, I was going to go to Raleigh, and we had a team, and my friend was going to pay for, like, the whole thing. He's slow-mo. He's going to pay for all the plane tickets, everything like that, but I couldn't get there because I live in Charlotte. So I was going to go to Raleigh, but then I never went to Atlanta before, so I was a little unexperienced. People were telling me, like, it's way different, way different. I mean, like, I know that it's way different, but I just decided not to go because I needed to get some land experience before I went there, and I know it's like way different, but I'm usually like 3-bar, so, and I do pretty good, so.
Yeah, I feel you on that. So do you have a PS3, and if you do, how was the transition from Xbox to PS3 for you?
Well, since I moved to Charlotte, I used to live in Detroit for like 12 years. So I moved to Charlotte, and I was a little sketchy with my Xbox. I had my foot up on the desk, and it slammed down on my Xbox while I was playing Modern Warfare 2. So I was just done with the Xbox because it got its little ring around the disc. I was just done with it. So I went and traded all my stuff in, got a PS3, and went from there. That's where I really started jumping up with my GB, and actually got pretty known on the PS3. And then I sold that to GameStop, and then I have my Xbox now, and then I've been set already. And I was thinking about getting a PS3, but
So are you? Do you think it's easier to play on PS3? Have you played Black Ops on PS3 and tried it out and tried the guns? Because me personally, I like PS3 a little bit better when it comes to shooting, because on Xbox the recoil is a little bit more harder to use for the FAMAS and every other gun, and it's just like it feels like a totally different game over there. And I do like the smoothness of the Xbox, but the PS3 just seems like it's a lot better when you're playing competitive because of the way that everything shoots. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that, like, totally.
Okay, all right. Have you ever played against a pro team or a pro player?
I've played against like S&D pro teams, but because I've been playing Black Ops, I started out MLG and went through everything like that. I don't recall playing against any pro teams, but probably some pro players. And I mean, it's not that big of a difference, but I mean, like, when you're versing a team and there's a pro player on there, he's not going to do like outstanding versus the other team. But I mean, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, pro players obviously, they play competitive, and that's what they are professionals in. They don't play pubs, and if they do, it's just on their spare time, and I can vouch for that. When you're playing against one pro player and stuff, obviously it might not make that much of a difference. I mean, unless he's like a really good slayer. But if you are playing against a group of 4 players, it really does make a difference. And I think we're gonna have to give you the opportunity to play against us, man, so you can really judge for yourself on that. But look, man, this is like one of the last questions here coming down for this interview. Me going back in time when I was a struggling player, I never really had to worry about MLG or traveling. I only had to worry about getting on a top team, in which I always did because I had that right mentality set for that. In certain games like Unreal, Counter-Strike, Wolfenstein, Rainbow Six, and and so on. I didn't have much pressure on me, and I was always considered a top player in those games, and I never had a problem with getting the attention I deserved or being noticed as a top player until I moved to Halo 2, which was picked up by MLG. It's basically where MLG started. So I was really just getting introduced to all these, MLG players. I was really good at Halo 2, and I dedicated all my time to it. I played against all the pro players at the time, such as Walshy, Ninja, and even T-Squared. Even after I was competing with them and holding my own, they still just wouldn't give me any attention at all, and it just seemed like it was impossible for me to join a top team. So my question to you is, do you feel like you get the attention you deserve? And is getting in touch with these pro players, like, is it as hard of a task to take on, or even if you can compete with them? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, like, it is very hard. When I was trying to play, I asked Fizzerp on Facebook, like, how do you get more known? How do you get the chance to play with pro players? And all he said was, he said, do really good in pickups, and that's all he said. I mean, that wasn't really that big of a help or anything like that, but when I'm trying to get, like, some attention of a pro player or anything like that, I try to make my own team, and it didn't do very well because there's, like, no dedicated players. I mean, there's dedicated players, but it is so hard to find. That's what, like, a pro team is. They have all dedicated players, well, like, most of the time they do. And that's what I mean. There's not that much pro players, and I don't know what I was going to say before that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think some of the pro players are really hard to get in touch with, and they don't really give you, the answers that you're looking for. I myself, I'm a little bit different because I am older, and I do look back. I never forget where I came from, and I do look back in Halo 2 when I really wanted these players to pick me up and just, look at me and just help me out along the way, even if it was just a little bit of advice, and they never would. And I always told myself, if I ever get into their position, I'm always going to look back into the community and just help them out because, they deserve to. And that's the only way this community is going to grow, especially the competitive community, because although it is a large community, it's probably about 5% of the actual Call of Duty community. Like 95% of it is all sniping and pub stars. Yeah. So, we have a lot of growing to do. We have a lot of fans and stuff that support us, but it's nowhere near the amount that it could possibly be if we all just helped each other out. So I agree on that, man. And
whenever I do something and if I get up there, and then I'm not gonna have an ego or anything like that. Like Moho, you don't have that. Like you don't have an ego or anything like that. But there's some pro players that have like a really high ego, and I think they're just like they could smack everyone. I mean, like, do you feel me on that or no?
No, I absolutely agree, man. Like, and it's just not that there's just some. There's a lot of pro players, and I was actually on Rage Quit Monday yesterday with Holiday Doc and Hex and all them. And I was, talking to him, and I was telling him, I was trying to make my point clear that, if we want to grow as a community, if we want, more teams at these LAN events, we have to, because nobody's going to want to go to these events and get destroyed. That's a given. And a lot of these pro teams only look for pro team scrimmages. See, when I was playing and I was on Fear and I was doing my thing for the LAN events and everything, I would play against anybody. I mean, yeah, we would play against the occasional terrible team. And, it's not up to us to get them better. It's, we're trying to better ourselves. So we did have to look for another scrim. But the point I'm trying to make is, we did scrim with a lot of other people, not just pro players, because no matter who you're playing, you're still going to develop chemistry regardless. And that's the main key to success, especially for a team, is building chemistry. So you make some really good points. I am striving to, reunite the community together as one. And not just, having a clique where it's just pro players. A lot of them do that. I can name a bunch, but I'm not going to. And we do have a lot of cocky players, but I just think that those cocky players forget where they came from. Nobody came from the top as soon as they started. So you make some good points. My last and final question here for you. Favorite team and favorite pro player?
It's always been Fear. I mean, no, I'm not trying to, say anything like that. And it's been you, bro, Moho. I've heard of you since Halo, so... I mean, that's it.
Well, that's inspirational, man. I mean, that's the type of stuff that keeps me going, even if I'm not playing right now on the circuit and I'm getting ready for Modern Warfare 3, that's the type of stuff I like to hear, that's what inspires me to make these videos and just do these interviews and stuff. And as long as I'm helping you guys out, man, that's really all that matters. So
when I first started Modern Warfare 2 GB, everybody was talking about, Moho, and I'm like, who's Moho? And I looked him up. I mean, you got some legit shit.
Yeah. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. You know, it's all that stuff is hard work and earned. You know, you got to develop a name for yourself. And if there's any tips I can give for you guys out there, and especially you samples, is just ignore the hate, ignore the shit talk, and just do what you got to do for yourself. You have to become a great player if you want to have a great team. So. Well, that includes our interview. If you have any shout outs, I know you got a YouTube channel out there and a Twitter. Go ahead and shout that out.
Yeah, I got SaMpLeDs. Just look up SaMpLeDs, SaMpLeDs. It's probably on the screen. And then the channel that I really want to get big is Game Battles Every Day. Just look up Game Battles Every Day, no spaces. And I post up to 2 times a day on that channel, and I'm really not getting that much attention. That I'm just saying that. I'm not trying to sound cocky or anything. I only have 185 subscribers on that channel, and I posted probably like 30 videos. And I mean, that's about it. So Game Battles Every Day and SaMpLeDs.
All right, man. Well, like you said, those are going to be up on the screen for you guys to go check out. The the objective of these interviews is to connect these type of players within our community. So guys, go check this out. Go subscribe, support him out, and I'm pretty sure he'll do the same to you. So this is Moho, guys. Samples. Go ahead and give a shout out to anybody you want.
I mean, just look out for what's called Nuffy. Just Nuffy. Look out for him on the pro circuit. Yeah.
All right, that sounds good. We'll be looking for him, man. Thanks for the interview.
All right, thanks, man.